everybody, welcome to the 𝐂𝐷𝐿 Way. I'm Jessica, and today's video is going to be all about an impromptu magical creatures mythical beast unit study. I did not plan this unit study in advance. If you watched our New Year homeschool plans video, you know that my plan was basically just to do a discovery deck, a book, and a game pretty much every day through the month of January and possibly February. If you didn't watch that video, I will link it up here for you guys. And the first book that Emily wanted to read was one she had got for Christmas, which was Impossible Creatures. Because this was the book that we were reading, I obviously decided that we would do the Mythical Creatures Discovery deck. So those two things were kind of like an easy win, and I pulled a few games that we had that had some mythical creatures. Along the way, things just kind of developed, and next thing I knew, we were doing kind of a magical creatures unit study, and I didn't even know it. So Emily asked if she could pull her Dragon Masters books. She has the whole series. She loved these when she was younger. Actually, I think I read these aloud to her in like 2nd or 3rd grade, and they were so cute. Like, even I enjoyed them. But she asked if she could pull these off the shelf for her to read, which of course I said yes. And so she was reading through this series while I was reading Impossible Creatures aloud. She was watching a discovery deck for mythical creatures every day. And then we were playing some mythical creatures games. And then I decided she's really into this. I'm going to go search our shelves and kind of pull off anything else I have that would go along with this. So the first thing that I pulled off were the books that we had when we did 𝐂𝐷𝐿, Wizards, and Wands. So we have the required resources for that, which is a field guide to griffins, unicorns, and mythical beasts, as well as a field guide to dragons, trolls, and other dangerous monsters. These books are simple, but I love it. So it just kind of has like a picture, and then it tells you about that creature or beast. You have its size, habitat, diet, life cycle, physical features, and behavior. So it's just like enough, like a little snapshot of each one. And the dragon one is the same way, but different types of dragons. And then along with that, when we did the magical creatures portion of 𝐂𝐷𝐿, Wizards, and Wands, I also picked up the Behind the Legend Unicorn and Dragon books. So these are really neat because it takes a look literally behind the legend. So it looks at creatures and monsters throughout history and analyzes them through a scientific myth-busting lens, debating whether or not what is known about the creature is adequate proof of its existence. In the end, you still kind of get to be the one to decide. Like, they give you all of the proof historically, culturally. It's like they present all the facts, and then it's like, okay, now you decide if this is fact or fiction. So I decided we would add these in for the unicorns and the dragons. And then because unicorn and dragons were kind of her favorite, I went ahead and pulled the other unicorn and dragon books that we had as well, which is the Magical Unicorn Society Handbook and A Brief History of Unicorns, which is from the same, like these two are kind of book 1 and book 2. And they're beautiful. Like, they're absolutely gorgeous on the inside. They're fun and whimsical. I think Emily got them for maybe her 8th birthday, so we've had them for a while, but they've just been fun reads. So I was like, okay, I'll pull those for her. So then I also pulled Dragon World, which this is a DK book. We love all DK books, so this was no exception. And this one, too, is just a really beautiful book. It meets the fire-breathing beast of mythology. And then the one I decided that I would read aloud in addition to Impossible Creatures, because I really liked the background of it and how much information it had, was the DK book of Mythical Beasts and Magical Creatures. This one takes the creatures into 8 different chapters. So you have like good and evil, tricksters, shapeshifters, creatures that are almost human, creatures of the deep, winged wonders. It had a little bit of everything. So I was just kind of reading 1 to 2 creatures to her a day. But what I loved is that it kind of told you like where these were mentioned first in culture or history. For example, this moon rabbit is a charming creature of Chinese legend who makes its home on the moon. The myth of the moon rabbit originated in China, and it later spread to other parts of East Asia, including Korea, Japan, and Vietnam. Similar tales have also been told in the Americas. And it gives you like kind of why they believe this, how it originated. The moon rabbit pounds the elixir of life with a mortar and pestle. It's just really like really fun. This is definitely one of like my top 3. If I could only get 1 or 2 of these, this would definitely make the list. Along with the next one I'm going to show you, which is Myth Match. This one is so much fun because it's interactive. So when you open it, you have here we have a dragon. But you can tell these pages are split and you can create your own animal. So now we have a drarage, which the paragraphs still line up and then the pictures still line up. So you end up with so many different possible creatures you could create. So you're basically mixing and matching, and it says there's over 1,000 possible creations to fascinate, bewitch, and beguile. I think there's actually 2 of these out now. We've had this one for years. Like I said, we bought it to go along with our magical creatures, wizards, and wands, and it's just been in our homeschool room. Emily has like enjoyed this so much that I'm going to go ahead and look and see if the second one is in fact different. And if so, I'm going to grab it because these 2 have been the 2 that we've pulled off the shelf the most during this little impromptu mini unit study. The next one I have, if you have a younger kid, like I said, we did this 3 or 4 years ago. So this was really great for Emily then. She still likes it now. I'm not sure I would have bought it for a 12-year-old. But it's the Magical Creatures and Mythical Beasts, and it comes with like this little mini flashlight. So each little spread kind of tells you something, and then you use the flashlight to find something. You're immersing yourself in the mythology of the ancient world and shining your magical flashlight to uncover its different secrets. So, I mean, it is fun. It is interactive. I love it. I'm just not sure that I would have bought it for her at 12, almost 13. I definitely bought it at 8 and loved it, and she still likes it now. So do with that what you will. I only pulled a few games, and so far we've just been playing them over and over and over because we really like these games. We have Unstable Unicorns for Kids. We have Dragonwood. We have Cover Your Kingdom, which is really similar gameplay to Cover Your Assets by the same creator. If you've played that, then you would know kind of how this one plays. And then this is Dungeon Mayhem Monster Madness. We have Marvel Madness, which plays exactly the same. This one just has a ton of different monsters. So you have, it's like D&D themed. So we have dragons and owlbears and mind flyers and the gelatinous cube and beholders and mimics, and so all kinds of different monsters. So that's been a lot of fun too. I will say, if you're only looking to get one game, hands down, Dragonwood is probably actually in our top 5 of all games of all times. Like, we love this game. Everybody in the family loves this game. I can't even tell you how many people I've gifted it to over the years. Like, it's just that good. So if you're only looking to get one game, this would be the game I would get. Just like if you're only looking to get 1 or 2 books, I showed you the books. And then we have just a few activities that, again, like I said, were on my shelf, so I just grabbed them. Mad Libs, Unicorn, Mermaids, and Mad Libs. 100 paper dragons to fold and fly. Mythical Beast masks. So these are like press out and play. They're 3D masks. There's like a phoenix and a werewolf and a vampire and a griffin and a unicorn and a dragon. They're so cool because they're just press out Like you just punch them out of here and then you get to make the mask that you would wear. And then we have the Build Your Own Dragon sticker book. And the last thing I had is actually out of print, and I was so sad about that because so many of you were like really into it. So I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm also going to leave a link in the description where I essentially created a free printable that I'm going to offer that is extremely similar to this, since it's out of print and you can't get it. So that way if your kids want to do what Emily did, they can. So I found this book ages ago, probably when we were doing Waldock Wizards and Wands, or maybe right after we did it, and I thought, oh, we'll come back to it, and we just never did this book. It's just called My Guide to Magical Creatures, and it's just like a small little book that basically has a place where you can do a map of your magical lands in the front. Emily hasn't done that yet. She's waiting till she finishes all of her magical creatures. And then pages like this where you just create your own magical creature. So some of them, like this one, the Phoenix, she, obviously just did the Phoenix. Others she created completely out of her own mind, like this adorable little pom-pom. And then some, when she didn't have one that she wanted to create out of her mind, she used the Myth Match book and would kind of flip it around until she found something that looked cute, which would be something like this Simlin. So she's done about 10 of these. And what I like about this is that it's a little bit of everything. So she's drawing it, she's having to do details of interesting parts and colors and skin and fur. She's having to write a description, and then you have to, list like its habitat, its favorite foods, hair color, what the animal is made up of, where does it hide, is it dangerous, is it playful, is it magical, and then any special notes. And like I said, I was really sad that this is out of print and you can't get it anymore, at least not anywhere that I found. So I did create printables for you so that you can grab them and your kids can create their own guide to magical creatures. So I will leave that link in the description in case you too want to do an impromptu Magical Creatures Mythical Beast unit study. Now, before I go, Emily and I are also kind of doing a math portion to this, and we decided that we were going to do a graph of favorite mythical creatures. So would you please, in the comments, tell me what your favorite mythical creature is? You can also ask your kids or your family, and you can just kind of list them out. I have 1 for dragon, 2 for unicorns, and we are going to graph that so that I can add some sneaky math to this magical creature unit study. So we appreciate your help.